This video is mostly for my fellow stack sellers online and other card related businesses, but it's also a little bit for the collector too. I think it's really important to be consistent in something. And I'll explain what that is in a moment. But people respect consistency. They respect and show up for things that they can trust will still be there and be the way that they expect it to be based off of history or the past. And that doesn't mean don't grow, don't progress, don't change things here and there, don't better your company, your business, yourself. But it does mean don't rapidly change things on people. And I mean that mostly in the way that I see some people do their selling sometimes, or the way they run their business, whether they just sell on something like Twitter or Instagram or eBay, the ways that they collect. And ultimately, you get to make your own decisions. This is just guidelines based off of thoughts in my head and experience. Just make sure you're not chasing things off of FOMO. Make sure you're not taking money out of one thing that, because it's not like the quote unquote sexy thing to have, or that, and throwing it into the shiny new object can often lead to loss and confusion and being burnt out. So find that one thing that you want to build and establish your selling around or your collecting, and have that as a grounding. And it's okay to dabble in the other stuff. I think it's important to educate yourself on new things coming up, other aspects of the market, other aspects of collectibles, test the waters a little bit. But when a business or a card seller rapidly pivots their direction all the time, it could be all the way from selling singles to breaking to NFTs to this to that to this specific card to slabs to yada yada yada. I think that the customer on the other end and the people in your community can kind of lose respect for that, simply because they're wondering if you're going to uproot and change direction out of nowhere when they're used to one thing. And if you don't have that thing that they can come being used to, it's hard for them to want to show up for you, just because you don't know, as the person on the other side, if you're going to show up to what you expect. And that can also cause you to burn out. So it's not don't grow, it's not don't dabble in other things, experience other things, educate, test water. It's just don't rapidly chase these things like a cat with a laser pointer. Just find your grounding and then build around that slowly. And don't just take huge chunks of money and throw it into another thing. Now on the collector side, simply, once again, it's your choice how you collect, it's your choice what you collect. But I think there are a certain amount of people that become disenfranchised and disgruntled with the hobby, and it's not even, they might project that onto what someone else did or the way things are, but oftentimes it's based off of their own decisions. And a lot of times it's things like they had their, now I'm talking mostly about money related things, like things they want to make money off of versus like what you truly want to collect, but that comes into play too. But when it's like money related things, they'll get upset because they lost money on something, and it's often because they chased something out of FOMO. They took money out of something that actually was tried and true and threw it into this NFT. And I'm not bashing NFTs, I'm not bashing any specific kind of cards. These are just examples of newer things that have popped up in trends. And then when they take that out and they don't do well, it's so easy to, rather than own that that was maybe a bad decision on your own part, to talk about flaws in the hobby. And that's not to say there aren't flaws in the hobby. There certainly are, and we should talk about them. But this is a moment to go internally and maybe pump the brakes a little bit and not chase that shiny new thing all the time. Sometimes it's fun too, but don't just rapidly do it all the time, because I don't want you to get burnt out. I want you to be happy. I want your business to flourish. I want you to have things in your collection that you want to collect. And I want you to have fun, most of all. Like, the hobby is about having fun.